Hello, everybody. This is Paul Pona. Today, we're going to do the biggest breakthrough that's occurred in my last 20 years that I've been doing this stuff, right? Digital marketing, selling stuff online, whatever you want to call it, which is in book publishing today, right? And that is, how can you get a book like this? Okay. You see right here, it says Noah's Great Adventure by Yash. You see this? And this is, I'm going to bring in Yash in just a couple of minutes. But this book right here was done completely with AI. So this whole thing, okay? I'll show you the actual listing in Amazon Kindle. It's like you see the pages here, like this one right here. You got the text, you got the consistent characters. You got like, you see it's a story, the background here, story of faith, hope, and God's promise, right? And everybody, follows the Bible, knows Noah's Ark story, right? Obviously. And so now you see this, it's like multiple pages, okay? Pretty cool, right? So I'll show you how to create, and we will show you how to create this book, me and Yash, today. And so you see this right here, multiple pages and stuff like that. And how we did it like in just a few clicks, okay? And I'll show you the actual listing on the online right now as well. So this is the actual listing. So you see this right here. So I ordered it right now, as you can see, on September the 18th. Today is the 19th. So I got it delivered in 1 day. Okay. Now, so check this out. So this is a paperback, as you can see here, and it's on Prime, 2-day delivery, but I got it in a day. That's the beauty of Amazon Prime. And this book right here, as you can see on my screen, I'm highlighting it, as you can see here. I'll zoom it in a little bit right now here. All the description, right? All the elements in this book, right? It was all done using AI, Artistly AI in particular, right? Obviously, the Artistly application. Now, this was published on September the 16th, as you can see here. And here's what I wanted to show you, okay? And we will show you step by step how to create this book. But here's the key thing, okay? I've been in the publishing business for close to 15 years now. Okay, I published ebooks, CD-ROM drives, everything, software, everything you can imagine. One of the biggest problems is putting pen to paper, right? Now imagine this, to be able to create a book like this, okay, and to be able to publish it, right, in Amazon has a lot of benefits, okay, obviously. But let me explain to you what that exactly means. And let me know if you're excited about this, okay? This is really crazy because you don't have to pay any royalties for Amazon. You don't even have to print anything. You don't have to hold it in your garage. Trust me, I've done that. I've actually bought books. I had it in my garage and shipped them one by one to people who paid me money a few years ago, right? I'm actually putting pen to paper on a story like this that I want to pass to my children. I want to pass to, let's say, family, nephews, nieces, for me or others, let's say, or my grandparents wanted to give it to me when I was a baby, whatever, was the most hardest thing because we don't have time, right, to be able to do something like this. All right. So here is the beauty, okay? When people see Amazon Prime, that let me know in the chat box if you agree with me on this, okay? If you see Amazon Prime, like what I highlighted right now on my screen, don't you agree with me? You're more likely to buy. How many of you have Amazon Prime? Just let me know in the chat box right now, because this is the biggest breakthrough, because I'm going to be talking about this for years and years to come, okay? Because that's how big of a breakthrough this is. I know some of you don't appreciate the actual value in terms of the breakthrough we've done here, okay? So I have to kind of stress this, and the credit goes to Yash. He figured it out with our machine learning team and our developers and everybody else, because this is something we've been breaking our head for a long time now, okay? So all of you have Amazon Prime. Don't you agree with me? When you see something, right, a book or whatever, when it says Amazon Prime, right, it's free shipping, free 1-day shipping, 2-day shipping, whatever. And in many, many parts of the world where Amazon is printing the book, Amazon is shipping the book, and Amazon is handling all the inventory for you and they don't charge you for it. So imagine this. If I were to buy these books, okay, I've done it, okay? I would go in and I would get into all these publishing houses, publishing companies and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about the AI part of it in just a second, but just to look at the logistics, right? Being able to print it, being able to store it, being able to list it, figuring out how to get it appear on search engines like Google, which Amazon does automatically, being able to put my mind to work where I can get the actual mundane behind the scenes stuff was extremely, extremely difficult. It's one of the reasons why everybody wants to publish a book in their life and nobody does. Right? Very few people do, because they give up halfway through, paying editors, illustrators, paying all kinds of other designers, graphic designers, right? And all these kinds of people, and warehouses, right? You need to order 500 books. Publishing houses, they say, okay, you go order 1,000 books at a time, 10,000 books at a time. Who has the money, right? To be able to, so people give up halfway through, right? Here is where AI is really, really powerful. Okay. And the question was, will you buy my book? Yes, you publish it. I'll buy it. I'll do a kid's book for me on any one of these Bible stories or kids stories or whatever. I'll buy it because I want to give it to my baby, right? It's 14 months old right now. So because I want to share this, right, with them, of course, why not, right? And yes, a prime buyer, right, Joseph, you agree with me. So let me kind of explain this. I'll kind of, we'll go over this in depth a little bit right now in just a sec. But what I wanted to kind of stress, and I want to do like a little bit of a Q&A here so that we can discuss, right? I'll bring Yash on as well in a sec, but let me zoom this part in, okay? So you can really see this, okay? So imagine this, a book like this, okay? Full paged, okay? Completely done with AI, with consistent characters, right? Like you see, Noah is in all the pages. All the text is perfectly written by AI, of course. All the description elements here, of course, right? You see that you can see clearly, right? I'm not the actual, like what do you will, this is the prized possession. So now what I can do, it's a memory that I can pass on to my children. Because if Yaj did this, right, this will always stay, right? With my children, whoever. And if I did it, the same thing, right? Memories are worth a lot more than money in many, many cases, as you can imagine. So this is something like, you can share it, let's say, to your church group, right? You can go and share this. It's your creation. Your name is on it and it's personalized, right? Every element of it can be personalized inside. Characters can be your children. You could be your grandchildren. It can be your family members with all the stuff that we'll be teaching you today, of course. But to be able to put pen to paper and actually have the logistics part of it also being done for you, meaning you're not like just Kindle, right? Like, let's say, for example, one of the things that I hate, okay, as a parent, trust me, it's the worst thing that happens is this, right? Like I have a phone here, like let's see here, obviously. And one of the problems with phones, right, is, like I have my child here, as you can see, obviously when he was a baby. But like the problem is you don't want your babies to be able to actually be on the phone as long as possible, correct? We want them to be actually reading books and stuff like that. It starts from childhood. You don't want them to be addicted to Kindle or iPads and stuff. So the physical books, right? I've been buying so many of these books right now for the children, for my baby boy, that it's something that I don't even care about the money anymore, right? Because, even when people ask what gifts do we give, I say, just give me books, because I want to make sure that they learn history, they learn science, they learn, stuff that they can actually, some stories, short stories, whatever, right? That they can actually learn from, right? And actually can get value from. And so my point is this right here, being completely done with AI was never done before. Let me repeat that again. Never done before at this professional scale where, imagine, before I had to buy thousands of these books, not needed anymore. I can do one by one, meaning with Artistly, if you want to publish hundreds of these books, right? Meaning each for one child, like the child is the hero of the story. You want to do 100, you can do that. Amazon is not charging you for warehousing. Amazon is not charging you. They're doing print on demand, right? So only when people want the paperback, they will do it. There's a minimum value, I think $7 or something, that they charge for all the printing and storing and shipping and all that. Shipping is for free. Let's look at it from a perspective, okay? All the other competitors, because I buy so many of these, they charge about $40, $50 plus shipping. And it takes 7 to 10 days, and it's not personalized like this. And this is what makes it revolutionary, okay? And I was just looking at it from the perspective where, I mean, if you could just a whole business with this if you want to, or you can even do it where, for example, you can do it for fun, right? For example. And because of the fact that it's 1 day shipping, imagine there's a birthday coming up this weekend, or let's say a couple of days from now, 3 days from now, 5 days from now, you can publish it and you can actually distribute this book to the daycare center. You can distribute it to the school. You can distribute it to all the children. And this is the start, by the way. Children's books is the starting point. We're going to actually go into nonfiction now. We're going to go into other stuff, right? Graphic novels, you get the point. But this is the starting point, right? Which is where technology is taking us, right? This is how the purpose of AI should be this. Let me be clear, right? Do you agree with me? Purpose of AI should be, how can I simplify things? I'm busy. I'm at work. I'm busy with children. I'm busy with my grandchildren. I'm busy with family. I'm busy with commitments, right? But I still want to publish my book. I've been wanting to get the ideas on paper for many, many years now. And this is the reality now of all the hard work, right? Of our team, your feedback and everything else, okay? This right here, okay? is basically, I'm seeing some questions on it. What's the Amazon cut on it? There's like $7 is about their cut they take. So you can price it whatever you want beyond that, and the spread is there. The key point is the $7 is the shipping fee that other people charge. This is the key thing you have to understand. Forget about the money, all that aspects here, right? Because for me personally, the ability to be able to ship something and get it in a day, right, is revolutionary. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. And for those of you who understand it, let me repeat it one more time. Okay, I don't care about the YouTube views we're gonna get for this video or whatever. Somebody who's been in the space publishing for 20 years, this is the most revolutionary thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. Okay, being able to have AI do all the work and have it fully publishable in an easy, straightforward way. And it's only going to get better and better, right? As we optimize it with your feedback. That means, in other words, any idea you had in your mind, you can get it in words out there, right? And the ability for you to generate any amount of them again and again, not being charged monthly fees, royalties, and all that kind of stuff. And the ability to reach prime buyers, right? When people see this prime thing right here, you see this like here, this blue prime check, they will buy this over everything else. In fact, right? You will go and you'll buy this for your own family and friends because you don't have to pay for the shipping costs. You don't have to wait for 5 days. Let's say you're in the UK, you're in the Amazon basically for the Kindle publishing, for the paperbacks, right? Physical products. They basically have warehouses in all parts of the world, right? Europe, they have it in Canada, US, and stuff like that. So ships super fast. Okay, so you don't have to worry about inventory either. You don't have to buy thousands of them at once and store it and figure out what to do in your garage and spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for it. Correct? So this means you're a bona fide author now, something that you can cherish for the rest of your life, right? For me personally, that's the greatest game changer for me. If I can put my name on something and I can pass on to my kids, right, for years and years to come, a memory, that to me is worth any amount of money, right? Like I can put a value for that personally, okay? Maybe that's the case for you, right? So let me ask you a question now, all right? We'll talk about this as we go along, right? What are the topics you want to create books on? Is it for your own use case, or you want to do it for, let's say, your family, whatever, or you want to just sell them and generate revenue? Like, you want to make it for revenue, or is it for your own purposes? You want to publish some stuff, or for your church, stuff like that? What do you want to do? We want to get an idea because we want to also mold our trainings based on this concept that I'm sharing with you right now. Okay, just let me know in the chat box. We'll give you a couple of seconds. Then I'll bring Yash on now as well because we have some really cool things to share. He's coming in here. There you go. Yash, it's pretty exciting, right? I got it right now in my hands, physical form.
Yep. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? I hope you can hear me. I'm super pumped up. This training is going to be action-packed, golden nugget-packed because I have some crazy stuff for you. So yeah. Well, it's crazy.
Okay, cool. So we are seeing both, right? Profit, revenue. I also want to do it for my family. I want to do it for journaling to pass on and stuff like that. Great, right? So let me just a couple of questions. Let's answer because we're going to go to the training part of it right now, obviously. So what I want to talk about is Amazon Prime Automatic. Yes. So what that means, okay, just for reference, when you publish a book like this on Amazon, Kindle publishing, it is going to be actually printed by Amazon themselves. They have warehouses in, I think, 7 or 8 different parts of the world: Japan, Poland, UK, Canada, US, that kind of thing. So what they will do is they'll print it and then they'll ship it. And this covers majority of the world. I don't know if it's in all countries. You can double check. I will be happy to provide it if you want to get more information after this training is done, obviously. But what I've gotten it in a day from when we got published to when I purchased it to when I received it, okay, about 24 hours. Now, why this is a game changer for me personally, I just want to tell you, words on paper, right? Like this is the hardest thing to do right now. And it's been there for a long period of time. Forget about even AI. Just even without AI, it will cost you $1,500 to get an illustrator to illustrate things, right? Figure out what spline is and what the cover is. Like this cover image, people used to charge $300 or more just for this. Then writing it, proofreading it, right? Proofreading this text that you see here and all that kind of stuff would take forever. So people just give up. And then the dreams lay in the graveyard, right? They wanted to pass on their creations to their family, or they wanted to basically even sell it and have it out there so people will know them, that they've done something with with their name on it, that which people search on Google, they'll see now you're an author, right? And you're a bona fide author too, right? Because this looks professional and everything else. So yes, the answer to your question, it's automatic prime, which means that any prime buyer will prefer you over anybody else in the market, right? Obviously, because it's fast shipping, free shipping, and Amazon is easy with the whole logistics of it, right? You don't have to deal with all that kind of mumbo jumbo stuff. So personally, yeah, like when I'm buying, 99% of the time I'm buying prime only, and you are doing that too, right? Obviously, most of the time, if you will, right? So pretty cool, right? Pretty amazing. Now, this, I'm seeing some questions as well, right? Like, can we do cooking books and stuff? We are getting there. That's the next stage of what this start is, okay? So, this is the children's book, right? Obviously, this is the first stage because I'm so familiar with that market, right? So we'll take in your feedback more and stuff like that. And because I've spent thousands of dollars on these books. So I know what works, what doesn't work, how to put in stuff. So that's why we've incorporated stuff in there. But the next stage will be, yes, cooking books. It could be recipe books. It could be nonfiction books, whatever you desire, right? Because AI is so good now in writing, right? Which we do already with Artistly, but also so good now with our innovations, with consistent character, storytelling, making it interesting, right? The whole enchilada, let's say it, the whole thing, right? Hero, right? So my point is, okay, we're going to do the training now. I see all your questions. We'll answer them through and through, but please understand when we're talking about this, the way we show it, we've invented it. Okay. So the point is that anybody else who wants to do it, they have to get so many things right that it'll be impossible for anybody to be able to do, whoever the competition is or whatever. I'm only telling that because it's important for you to understand the edge you have now with Artistly by your side to be able to create any amount of books like these, right? You want to create a couple of books a day, 3 books a day, whatever, keep doing that. I mean, nobody has the bandwidth to do hundreds of them in a day because creativity somewhat requires human upkeep and stuff like that. But the point is, think of it, right? Think of the future here where you have, let's say you want to gift books to your family and friends, and they'll ask you, how did you create it? Or how did you do it? Where can I find more books like this? And you can create them on the fly and charge them money for it. On the same token, you wanted to create just books, but now you can do personalized books, personalized to specific problems. Let's say you're doing a company white paper, right? You can do the company name here and create a company white paper and then publish it and go and give that presentations to those companies if you want to have a product or service you want to sell. Think of the future, right? Here where we're going, because the key metric when we look at trying to solve major hard problems is we have to have the physical world and the digital world aligned together, right? Physical world meaning here you need Amazon to help you, okay? You need Amazon to do the printing, the labeling, the shipping, the management, the whole thing, right? To do the logistics. Because I'm not going to go buy a truck to go load up all these things. I'm not going to go buy a warehouse space, right? I'm not going to put them in my garage and then go ship one by one and then pay UPS, FedEx, or USPS or any one of these things, these postal services like $10, $12 to ship this as quickly as possible. Amazon is including all that, right? With their shipping infrastructure. This means you have the digital and the physical merged together, which has never been done before, which is exciting for me personally. And sometimes I have to push you to the finish line. This is one of those few things I can tell you, a revolutionary thing that's going to give you an edge for the next 2 to 3 years. People always say like, I'm too late with things. I this AI thing, ChatGPT came, I came to the ChatGPT hype like 2 years later. Am I too late? Or people are like, selling stuff on Amazon, am I too late with it? Or people are like publishing stuff, there's so many people publishing stuff, am I too late? Or even this AI wave, am I too late? This is one of those few times in history, okay, where we just literally published the first book and printed it, okay? So it's the very early stages of what will become something that we want to focus a lot of our resources on, okay? And people always ask us, what is the next stage for AI and what are you folks doing? Yash, Paul, you guys, what's the plan? We want to talk about usability of these things, okay? Which is the hardest thing to do because it's easy for us to go say, okay, we have a bunch of developers, we have a bunch of software we're building, or we're building some AI engineers. Yes, that's hard stuff for a lot of people, but for us, we've had a streamlined approach. The harder problem is you say, okay, I want to do cooking books, right? That was one of the questions that came in. How do you go about doing it? so that it will actually be a professional enough book, that a recipe you can pass on to next generation of your family, right? Grandma's recipes or whatever. Let's say you want to book something that'll stand the test of time, right? Where people will be proud of you doing it, whether it's a customer, whether it's a friend, it's a family member or whoever, right? So that is where AI will help you, because you can generate personalized book where one for Johnny, one for Bob, one for Melissa, one for whoever, one for your nephew, one for your niece, one for your, let's say your cousin, one for your, grandchildren, one for, let's say your children, you get the point, right? You can do it as many of these as possible in just a few minutes. That's what we're going to share with you today. Okay. Because I want you to understand that we are in the early stages of this, and what will happen in the next few weeks and months and so on, whatever we're going to be working on, this is going to be revolutionary, because I'm so excited. Okay, I don't normally get excited because I've seen everything, right? In the last 20 15 17 years I've been doing this stuff pretty much on the internet. I've seen the early days of Google, I've seen the early days of mobile apps, I've seen the early days of social media, right? YouTube and all that. And I can tell you this is the most coolest thing I've seen since then, right? In the early days, because what makes this is where you can quantifiably say, wow, AI has allowed me to do this, which was impossible to do, which took illustrators, graphic designers, writers, editors, all that kind of mumbo jumbo stuff, technical stuff, right? Logistic stuff, warehousing stuff, being good at marketing and networking to get a publishing house to publish you. All the stuff AI is automated for us. And that is a game changer. Okay. So now that said, okay, yes, let's talk about what are we going to do to replicate this. So let's say I want to do, so this is my question. I wanted to create a book like this, right? So, okay, great. How do I get started? How do I publish it on Amazon? Just like what I'm showing right here. How do we get started here?
All right, everybody. So I hope everyone can see me. In just 1 minute, I'm going to give you the agenda, what we're going to cover, and we'll get straight into the screen, and we'll start discussing. I'll walk you through step by step. Okay. We did it, guys. Like, it's not just our team and stuff like that. We did it with your help. And I just want to say that, we, throughout this journey, we solved that problem that was been just massive issue for all of our self authors and publishers and stuff like that. All right. So what we're going to talk, right? We're going to talk about how to go from literally scratch to a paperback listing, just like what you see on the screen. Step number 1. Step number 2, that's a bonus. That was not possible literally till yesterday. It is now. Meaning we have done a massive upgrade for multiple character storybook. Meaning, you always have this thing, right? Where like, hey, I have my own characters. I have my own story. I want to create my storybook in my own style. Can we do that? Yes. With so proud and with so excitement, I want to tell you, you can do that, and I'll be showing you. It's going to be golden nugget pack, one of the best training I've ever done. Right? So make sure you focus, stay till the end. Every questions will get answered, and without further ado, let's get started. I'm literally be taking you to the into the screen and artist lead, right? And to the Amazon KDP, the acceptance criteria. What does it require? How to get the book right away, right? Literally by the end of this webinar, you'll have your book ready. Perfect. Awesome. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start sharing my screen. So Paul, you can show my screen and we'll go with that. So 1 second. I hope you can see my screen right now. And as I said, I'm super excited to walk you through step by step. So I just want to tell you one thing, okay? Don't you worry about, even if you have never created a book on KDP, even if you're overwhelmed with KDP requirements, even if you've tried it, failed because of the technical requirements or whatsoever, this training, by the end of this training, you're gonna have your paper book just like this, published on Amazon, distributed on Amazon under Prime, okay? Free shipping, fastest delivery across worldwide, US, UK, Canada, Australia, your paper book. And you can reach millions of buyers, right? Just like this. Your book is gonna appear just like this, okay? I did this. I made some mistakes. I'm going to show you so that you won't make those mistakes. I will show you the best practices, the worst things, the things to avoid, the things to look for, and without the learning curve. Easy peasy approach. Okay, so ready? All right. So what do you need, right? And I know there will be some. Just want to let you know, right, before we get into this journey of KDP, right? I just want to tell you that there will be terms like bleed. There will be terms like margins and trim settings and manuscript. Don't you worry about that. I'm here and I will explain you in an absolutely simplest way possible, so that the end of this training, okay, you will have your paper book ready, right? And why do we doing on KDP? Just so that we already discussed it, but just want to let you know, right? The best way to get your book out there in millions of hands that takes care of your shipping and handling and printing and all that, in the fastest way possible, fast shipping, free shipping across the world, right? That's the power of Kindle Direct Publishing, right? So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have just starting from scratch. You don't have a story to let's say start with, and you don't have characters. How would you go, right? You're going to come to Chat GPT. You say, okay, write me a moral. Okay, actually, you're bored of moral. You've done so many moral examples. Let's do something, right? Let's say mystical story featuring Jasmine and Alex. Okay, let's say I want it 2000 characters long, for examples, right? Now, as the questions comes, I will answer them. Okay, now first thing, Yash, how many pages? I saw when I tried it publishing on KDP, it asked me for 79 pages. When I tried it before, somebody's saying 24. What is the number? Okay, so there is a logical side of thing and there's a business side of things. Okay, generally nobody is there reading children's book of 100 pages, obviously, right? But with KDP, they require 24 pages minimum, and 79 pages is not like minimum. It's not compulsory. It's there if you have it. In the cover, right? When you have a book, you have a front page, you have a back, and there's a spine of the book, right? Like the mid section. When if you tilt your book vertically, you'll see that spine. On 79 pages, that spine appears, right? Because your book is big now. It's bulky book, right? As opposed to if you have a 32 pages, it's on. That's a logical side. So if you want a spine, you create 79 pages. Now, business side of thing, right? The higher the number of pages, the higher the cost you have to pay to print those. That means your margins, your royalties that you're gonna get is also going to go down and down. So the sweet spot is 30 to 40 pages. Best. Because they charge you, as you increase the number of pages, they charge you more. That means you are hurting yourself by doing more pages, and neither somebody is interested in reading through 100 pages of if you're focusing on a children's storybook, right? So that's the power, right? I mean, just wanted to explain you logically and a business wise. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to this in a quiet village surrounded by da 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 da. Okay, if that's the thing, I'm gonna go to here. We created a storybook section specifically for this, and we come to script to storybook, create a new story. By the way, just want to let you know, a lot of you might be thinking another question, right? Hey Yash, this is good, but I want my story, my characters. How do I do that? Show me. I'm gonna show you that as well. Okay, this feature is for you. Okay, we did some massive upgrades here. We'll talk about that. Okay, for now, let's say you're starting from scratch. Script to storybook, AI character, paste in your script. Now, second tip, okay, dimensions. Which dimensions? What dimension? What is the ideal size? So there are different dimensions. They call it, for storybooks. The ideal one that I recommend you, that everyone goes with, is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Okay. So now, hey Yash, how do I create into that inches? It's not available. No worries. I'm here for you. Okay. I will show you how to do it. Cool. So to create it into 8.5 inch by 11 inch, you need to start with 3:4 ratio. Don't you worry about that. Even if it does not make sense, everything will make sense at the end of this training, by the end of this training, right? Now, book details. This is the powerhouse, right? Now it will automatically create a book cover for you, right? With your author name and a title and everything. You don't have to create it manually. So let's say I'm gonna put Yash Sharma. If you have a title, you can give it. If you don't have a title, just leave it empty. It will automatically come with a title, right? And just generate, right? And sit and relax. Step number 1, it is generating illustrations for you. Okay. Next step, we're gonna convert it into the file, right? A book, like entire book PDF, right? What is there, what is not, don't you worry about that. I'm gonna show you, right? So just wait for a few minutes as it goes page by page. Design your illustration, keeping the characters consistent. Very powerful, very powerful, right? So I'm gonna wait for a few seconds. Now it's going, because the bigger the script, the more time it's gonna take. We support up to 5,000 characters, and we are in the pipeline. We're gonna support more characters. For more characters meaning more higher, the bigger length of script, so that you can give it like 2,000 character script, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and beyond 5,000, right? That's a goal. So yeah, that's the thing. Let's see how. Okay. Now let's wait for a few more minutes. All right, so now they are generating, as you can see, 4, 8, 30. Okay, cool. Okay, 14 images are getting generated. That means we have a 14-page book. Now always, right, you can come to ChatGPT. This is around, like, this was 1,500 characters. So you can ask it like, hey, give me like 3,000 characters, 4,000 characters to increase the number of pages, right? Also, one thing I want to add here, guys, which is very important, that sometimes what happens is it's not exactly these many number of pages that you're gonna get, right? It's a double, because it's a 2-page spread, right? I mean, basically on one page it's your illustration, on another page it's your the story text, right? So if we have 14 pages, you have 28 actual pages, right? So that's the thing. So boom, illustrations looks nice. You can change, edit the story text, go over through it. It looks good to me. If you don't like something, you can always regenerate it, right? And then you can click on this I option, and you can see which page number it represent, what story text it will represent, and what is the design prompt, so that you kind of get the idea. And then you can edit the story text. You want to add something, you want to highlight a word, you want to change the grammar, or you want to change a word, you want to change the sentence, or whatever it is, right? So okay, it's pretty cool so far. Now I'm in AI. Okay, sorry. Now I am in personal designs, right? All. But I created these designs using Storybook Studio, right? So I will click on it. There's a button that will appear. Now you might say, hey Yash, why is there a flip book? I want KDP Paperback. Okay, so basically this button does this one button does 3 things for you. Number 1, not only it will basically format and arrange the pages for you in a properly formatted PDF that KDP accepts. It will also help you convert the book into different languages. It will also going to help you if you want to create a flip book that you can share online with others. It will also going to help you to add the read aloud narration, in case if you wanted to share it with other people, and they can read it, they can hear it and stuff like that. Very important. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on create the flip book. When you click on create the flip book, a select story like this button will appear at the top of every image. So you're gonna select this story, right? So it's gonna select all the illustrations of that story, and you're gonna click on create flipbook. Now here is the magic, okay? You can add read aloud narration, you can change it to different languages. We are working on adding more languages that you guys requested for. You can select the template. Now what this template is for, this template is for text, right? Now of putting those text, so I'm just gonna say you can come up with like a border, like without border template. You can have these borders, you can generate it using AI, or you can upload whatever you want, right? So I'm just gonna do blank, and I'm gonna do that blank is just gonna white page, and I like that classic example. So I'm just gonna go to Jasmine and Alex. The front cover page is already created for me, and I will generate. That's it. Now is the time, okay? Now what's gonna happen, Yash? We got it. We hear ya. What now? Okay. So once these images are getting generated, right? So you have 21 pages. So right now what we said, right? Minimum is 24, right? Minimum is 24, and you can go above that as well, right? And what's the sweet spot? Sweet spot is 30 to 35 pages, right? So you can go to ChatGPT or ask it like, hey, add more to that. Give me a bigger script. Give me a bigger story. Give me more characters, right? More characters, more thing, right? Now you can read it, you can download it, but there's new button that will appear is download your KDP manuscript. Now what is manuscript, Yash? I have not heard about it. Don't you worry about it. Manuscript is just a fancy word of saying that your page content, okay, like your story content, when KDP asks you that, hey, we want you to upload a manuscript, they are just asking you, hey, we are asking, in a simpler word, we are asking you to upload a simple KDP a PDF that represents and that has all your images, right? All your images, all your illustrations, all your story, right? So you click on download. Now what it's gonna do, guys, okay? Now coming back to the point, if you remember, the 8.5 is to 11, 8.5 to 11 inches, right? 8.5 by 11 inches. This is the process. It's gonna take entire page, okay, and going to convert it into 8.5 by 11 inches, right? So that's the one thing. So that's the one very important thing, okay? Now not just that, it's gonna add additional details that now we are going to cover, like bleed, like trim sizes, like trims, and like the margins, the inside the gutter margin, right? Inside gutter margin, outside margin, whatever it is, right? And that's the thing, right? It takes up to 10 to 20 minutes because it's properly formatting the book for you. But once you get it, you will get ready to download KDP manuscript, right? Another thing I want to mention this very clearly, that this button will not appear for all the dimensions, because obviously I don't want you to create it into a different dimension that KDP will not support. If you want 8.5 inches by 11 inches book, it will only work with 3:4 dimensions, okay? Very important point to note. Now once this is ready, you will get this PDF. So let me actually download, let's say this was the book that I created, right? So let's say I download this, for example, right? Ready to download KDP manuscript. Now very important thing, okay, I'm just gonna download this, I'll show you, right? So let's open this up, right? Now you might say that, yeah, this looks like a normal PDF that you would get, but this has something that is going to help you. That means you see those white margins, it has properly formatted it in that perfect bleed, not just bleed settings, but margins, right? Because even if your book, even if one of the pixel goes into that KDP allowed margin, it will literally reject your book, right? It will not even give you a chance to edit it, just reject it. So we properly formatted. You see, this is basically, imagine this page is gonna go on the left side. So this is inside the gutter margin, right? Inside the gutter margin. So it needs that many space. Every image, right? Every page. It is properly mathematically calculated. So your book never gets rejected. Okay. Now comes the fun part. Let's go to KDP. Now you can go to just kdp.amazon.com and create your account. Account creation is very simple. An email, a password, a couple of details like your house address and stuff like that, and tax information, right? To kind of, it's very simple. It's gonna walk you through the process. That's very basic stuff, right? Main thing is you're gonna come here, which is now what to do to publish your book. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to click on bookshelf. Okay, you will see empty because you have not created anything, right? Now you have to click on create a new title or series. Easy. Now it will ask you what would you like to create. Well, you like to create a paperback book, so we're gonna click on a paperback book. Now what's gonna happen, it will ask you that, hey, choose the primary language your book is written in. You can see all the supported languages here. Arabic, all the final things that they support. These are only languages that they support, all these languages. So you have to make sure that it has all those languages. Now it's gonna ask you the title. So let's see what was the title of our book. Jasmine and Alex, the Guardian of Wales. So I'm gonna do that. Now what a lot of people do, a lot of people take advantage of this book title and put keywords, right? Like for example, children's book for moral book, children's moral book, stuff like that. You know, people take advantage to kind of there are some tips to that. We're gonna come once we kind of you know, follow that entire process under best gift. A lot of people do that, you know, perfect gift for birthdays. You know, think about all the keywords that people would search on Amazon to kind of you know, think about all this, you know, to basically what they would be thinking, what they would be searching, right? Apart from the titles, very, very, very important, right? Okay, boom, ready to download manuscript is ready. That's how the power it is, right? Now, if it is a series, you can include it in a series. If there's a subtitle, you can add a subtitle, right? Or you can add this as a, you know, subtitle, perfect gift for storybooks, for example, birthday or children's book for age under 9 or whatever it is, right? We'll go into in detail, okay? Now, author, right? So if you're using a pen names are allowed as well. Just make sure you're spelling, right? So I'm just gonna go with 1 second. So I'm just gonna go, okay. So prefix, you can you know, do the prefix, suffix, middle name. I'm just gonna go with author Yash Charasya, right? Now contributors, if you have multiple people working on, you can add up to 9 contributors, right? Now it's a description, basically summarizing your book. This will be your product description, so customer can learn more about your book. There's a limitation of 4,000 characters, okay? Now it's very important, okay? So you're gonna come to ChatGPT, you upload your story that we already did, okay? Write highly compelling Amazon description for this book, include some important keywords in there like a perfect gift, moral storybook, children's book, etc. Boom. That's it. Why did I do that? You know, it's gonna do that. Okay, step into the world. Why Karens will love this book. Okay, remove the emojis, please. Okay. Alright, there you go. There you go. Alright. Just gonna copy this. Go to KDP and upload it. Boom. A magical tale of friendship heartwarming children's book, a mystical moral story, perfect gift, boom, 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 2500 characters, good enough. Okay. Now, publishing rights. Okay. Yes, I own the copyright. If you are like uploading a public domain work, then obviously you would have to do that. But this is your book, so you have to click on own the copyrights. Okay. Now, what's the primarily audience? So does this have any explicit content and stuff like that? You need to make sure it's kids friendly, right? Reading age, you can just ask it, okay, minimum it is like 3-year-old, maximum is nothing. Minimum is 2 years old, maximum is nothing. So you can just kind of give it more data, so to say, right? Or you can even actually do none, right? Like you can just completely ignore this. But if you want to pick, you can pick, right? Now, primarily marketplace, where your books, right? Choose the location where you expect the majority of your book sales. So you can pick it based from your region. Is it in, is it Canada, Australia, UK, Amazon.com and stuff like that. So starting with Amazon.com, obviously, right? Now, choose up to the 3 categories that describe your book. You must select a primary marketplace and audience first, right? So what it is, right? It's basically kind of giving your book a category so that if your book tomorrow becomes a best-selling book, it will become the best-selling book under that category, right? So the better and perfect categories and the more the categories it will give you, the better your chances of discoverability of your book, right? And anyways, we're gonna talk about how to market it properly, later as well. So for now, click on choose categories. I'm gonna do a children's book. I'm gonna do action and adventure, right? And save. Let's add another category. So I'm gonna add another category, and this will go on children's book. And this is not a children's cookbook though. So I would say this is a fairy tales, literature, mysteries. I would put it in mystery and detectives actually. And then I would say I would put it in fairy tales, I guess, right? And then you have all these options, right? Like which tale it is. Is it from Roman, categories, or it is the Native American, Is it talking about any Greek mythology and stuff like that, right? So I would actually put this, guys, if I were you, I would put this under, let me just see what are the options. Yeah, I think the best thing to go with, as we can see here, is holidays and celebrations. So you can, one another thing, it gives you more ideas. Think about this, right? These categories gives you more ideas in which category of book that you should be creating. You should be, Halloween is coming, Christmas is coming, Thanksgiving is coming. So it gives you so many different ideas, right? So I would actually put this again, right? Just another category. I would put this in mystery and detective, and I just put a general, right? Just in a mysterious book, right? So, yep, perfect. Now it asks you more thing, which is does your book classify as any of these types, right? Low content book. So low content book is basically there's no content or low content in there, like your journals or planners or plain blank pages and stuff like that, right? So ours is obviously not, so you don't have to click on it. Large print book content is a 16-point font size or greater, so you don't actually have to worry about it, and keep these unchecked. Now keywords, okay? These are basically keywords that highlight your book unique traits, helps you rank for these keywords, helps Amazon understand what your book is, and help customers to narrow their book search on Amazon, right? So I'm just gonna literally copy it, right? And I'm gonna come here, right? And then I'm gonna say give me. Why did you do all the work, guys? Ask it, right? So very easy, make your life simple, right? Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna do mystical moral. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna put this keyword, children's fantasy adventure book. I'm gonna put this keyword, perfect gift children's storybook. I'm gonna put this keyword, moral adventure books for children. I'll put this. You can put up to 7, so I would like maximize on all of it, right? Bedtime story, children's fantasy adventure book. Okay, we already added that. Courage and empathy story for kids. I think we are good enough. Good, right? Now, publication date. The publication tells the readers when you're originally published, so you can just keep it the same. Now you can schedule the book release, right? So you can actually prepare the pre-launch, and you can actually do the hype building for your book, and you can schedule it on a specific date and time, or you can just release it book for now, right? And after the submit, it will take up to 72 hours. Actually, for my book, it took like less than 48 hours, right? So that's the thing, right? And save and continue. So far so good. Let me know in the comments, right? So far so good. All right, now if you have if you want to assign a specific ISBN number, you can, but KDP gives you for free, so why do you worry about it, right? Just click on assign, and it will assign a free ISBN number, which is independently published, your own KDP ISBN unique ID for you, right? Now, print options. There are multiple options, guys, which is black and white interior with white paper, standard color, and premium color. Okay, so when you click on standard color, right, that's where the minimum goes, minimum has to be 70 or whatever pages. When you go premium color, there's just 24-25 pages minimum. So always pick on premium color interior. The book is also comes out good, and it actually reduces the compulsory number of pages for you, right? That's another tip. Don't go with standard, go with premium. Not just the quality is better, but the limitations or the requirement also goes down, right? Which is from 70 to like 80, right? Now, trim size, right? So your trim size will be, select a different size. Our size will be 8.5:11. So where is it? 8.5:11. Bleed settings, guys, is basically, and this is like, if you have a illustration and this is, imagine, right? Let me explain you in simple terms, right? First, let me answer this, right? So what it will be. So 1 second. So, all right. So yeah, someone is there. All right. Anyways, so for bleed settings, you need to click on no bleed always. Okay. But if you click on bleed, what happens? It actually extends your page edge so that when it cuts it, there are no, additional white spaces and stuff like that. It perfectly adds those additional, bleed in the printing terms, right? To that, you don't have to worry about it, because the manuscript that you get from Artistly is already covered without bleed, meaning we already took those spaces according to Amazon's margin level, right? So don't you worry about that, right? So just click on no bleed. Paperback cover finish. So choose how you'd like to laminate your book covers, right? You want matte, you want glossy, up to your preference. I like matte, so you can do that. Now upload the manuscript. So basically here, this is what it is, right? This is your book's entire content, right? Interior content. So all you have to do is just upload it. So let me just upload it 1 second. All right, so it shows manuscript has been uploaded successfully. Now here comes the fun part, right? The book cover. KDP already gives you that launch cover creator, and in my eyes, it's really good. You don't have to worry about the specific dimension. They already set you, they already give you the templates. It's the best thing, right? So what you have to do first is you have to go to Artistly again, go to personal designs, okay, and then here go to this thing, right? So what we would do is we would go to bulk actions, create a new action, choose from library. We'll get that. We'll just get our image upscaled, you know what I'm saying? 1 second, upscale, only upscale, and 300 DPI, and build action, right? So let's say 1, for example, whatever it is, right? So what's gonna happen is this image, it will be required to upload there, right? Right now this image has this dimension, right? The smaller one, but it requires the higher resolution because it will get printed on the cover, right? So you want it higher. Look at this, right? So I'm just gonna download this, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the KDP thing, right? Click on the launch cover creator. All right, now what's gonna happen it is going to open its own cover creator, which is the best in like, you know, to get things rolling fast. And I will say continue. Now it will ask me, do you want images from your image gallery? Do you want to skip this page, or do you want to skip this step, or do you want to upload the image from your computer? So I'm just gonna click on computer. Let me just upload it 1 second. All right, so the image is uploading right now, and basically it will take, you know, because it's a big image, right? Like it's a like 4K, almost 4K image, right? So it takes some time because it has to be upscaled, right? If you just upload the original image, it won't work perfectly, just because it has to be print ready, right? 300 dpi print ready, higher upscaled image, right? So it takes few seconds to upload based on your internet connection. It seems like taking a little bit longer because, you know, this live scenario. All right, so yeah, it just got uploaded, and then you'll see all these templates. The first template is the best template. Okay, now it will already say that, hey, all these things, I'm just gonna dismiss it, and it says, hey, narrow spine, and this is what I'm talking about. You know, your book has 31 pages. It must be at least 79 pages to fit the spine text. You know, so it's not that KDP is gonna penalize you by not having enough text. It's just that, you know, it will, you know, that spine, right? If you take a book, like you're reading it, you turn it vertically, you'll see that spine of that book, right? The way it gets binded, right? That's where it won't have it. So obviously, so it's okay. So now the idea is you gotta just increase it a little bit. So I'm just gonna increase the sizing. Like, you know, this red dots are up to the place you want to increase it, and make sure there are no text right now. This Wheel of Dreams, I would have, you know, I would have removed these things. So I would have regenerated, but for now it's good, right? So this is a back cover. So we go to ChatGPT, say, okay, now give me a very good back cover, back cover paragraph to put anything. I mean, you know. So okay, there you go, in a quiet village. Okay, so I just do that. Now here you can do so many things, right? You can come here, you can paste your story, right? You can talk about the author, you can upload your page. I mean, you can upload your you know, what do you say, the author image, or you can keep it as it is, right? You can change the color, you can pick the primary color, text color, you can do all sorts of things. You know what I'm trying to say? So whatever prefers you, right? Whatever you like the most, you can keep it like that. I mean, there are different color options to pick from, and you can even choose from like these big enough. So, and then you can also choose the layout, how you want it to be, you know, so many things. So this empty space here on the left page is your barcode will get automatically printed by Amazon, right? So I like this layout generally. I mean, you know, this is the best. Or you can, like, because I don't have any author, but if you have an author, then you can pick this. You can put author image. If you're creating it, if you want to kind of put your personal brand over there and stuff like that, you can do that. You can change the fonts, right? You can change it. It's very powerful. You can choose the colors. I'm just gonna stick to that black and white for now, but you can do anything, right? So that's the whole idea. Other prompts we have. So I'm just gonna do black, and I'm gonna do this one as well, black. I'm gonna keep the text white for the time being. I'm gonna hit preview. All right, so it's gonna get previewed, and then let's see. Again, it's a big file, so it takes time. So give it some time, you know, to kind of build your cover and all that. So this is the best way, guys, honestly. You know, if you want to have space, if you want to perfectly have it so that, you know, the prompt will appear there, and, you know, in the back cover you can do anything, right? You want to spread a message, you wanted to mention something, you wanted to give a shout out to someone, you know, you want to, like, anything, right? So actually the trim size, I think for some reason got changed. I'm just gonna make it 8.5 by 11. The cover file is also uploaded. Just make sure that trim size is perfect. It has to be 8.5. That's a general standard, right? And then, okay, now it's the fun part, AI generated content. So Amazon is not going to penalize you, right? That's a very important thing, right? Amazon is collecting information just about the usage of artificial intelligence. So even if you have used AI, you just have to mention it properly, right? Yes, I have used AI. Text, I have some section with extensive editing, whatever it is, right? I use chat GPT, whatever, right? Chat GPT, you know, images, yes, you can say many images with minimal or no editing, only a few, many images with minimal or no editing. So you can mention artistly here, you know. So yeah, I mean, whatever it is, you can just mention it, right? Just to get the stuff done. And now comes the fun part, right? Which is you can launch the previewer. So what this previewer is, right? You can just preview how your book is going to look like. It will show you if there are any errors. It will show you any pages that are going out of the format. You know, this is the step where everyone gets all sorts of errors, all sorts of rejection. So you just have to click on it and it will take its time. It will go through the manuscript file. It will prepare the file. It will take some minutes, right? And it will do all this stuff. So we'll just wait for it. So a couple of minutes, it will be ready. And if your file has some issues, it will tell you upfront. If it won't, it will just directly show you the final file. So let's see. Alright, so this is how it looks like. No errors, nothing like that. Now there's one thing to point there is this is the barcode with your ISBN number, and then boom, there you go. There you go. Now you might wonder that, hey Ash, why is it coming like, you know, I have a black and white image. So probably what has happened, my settings for some weird reason got reset. So no worries. You can always go to exit print previewer. And you know, sometimes it happens, you see, it automatically got selected black and white for some weird reason. So just check this. Sometimes, you know, the error we see might have been just a technical glitch from their side, right? So make sure it's premium color. And the cover also was looking small, right? So I'll just gonna click on launch cover creator again. And I will again upload it again and just make it perfect for that 8.5:11. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm just gonna click on OK. This is my final image, so I'm just gonna get it. I think this is good starting point, I would say. And then ideally what happens is the red, right? The red dots is where what you need to keep an eye on. Okay, cool, awesome, it looks good, pretty good, right? So red dot is the margin. It should not go after that. It's your margins, and the additional dot is your bleed. You know, when they're printing it, the additional space in the printing world, they call it bleed. The extra edges that they put to basically, you know, if basically to avoid the additional white things when they cut it out, when they print it and stuff like that, right? So looks pretty dope, right? Okay, awesome. Let's go. Save and submit. Our paperwork is almost ready. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, 8.5, no bleed, matte, manuscript, cover. Yes, it is AI. But I confirm my answers are accurate and continue. Easy peasy, right? Okay. Oops, I forgot to put I forgot to approve the book, and I forgot to translation. No worries. I didn't use any translation, and I'm just gonna launch the previewer. You know, the good thing about previewer, guys, is basically it's gonna literally upfront give you error, and as you probably saw it, there were no errors. So all those hours of going into properly editing each and individual page, you don't have to do that anymore, right? You literally have your book ready to be published, right? Pretty powerful, right? So it checks it, right? So before you get all the errors, before you get all the rejections, it checks your cover quality, it checks your fonts, it checks your PDF files, and we made sure that every check it does, your book is okay with that. You know, it's a green tick for every check. So quality issues, DPI, higher resolution, 8.5 inches by 11 inches, margin settings, safe area, trim sizes, everything, you know. So you get your book ready to go. So we're just gonna wait for a few more minutes until this manuscript is done. It's now checking the trim size. Very important, right? Even by 1 pixel, you know why most of the books gets rejected, right? Even by 1 pixel or by something, your book goes out of their trim size, what they call the safe area, the trim size, a margin you can call it. Well, hey, no quality check, no worries, no issues. Boom, boom. And then I'll explain you some very interesting thing. Okay, so they call this inside, where it's gonna bind, some interesting terminologies for future, right? They call it inside margin, inside gutter margin, right? Which is basically your book is going to get binded. It's like, what I'm trying to say. So this margin should always be this much on the right side. This should be this much on the left side, and the same thing for the alternate pages. This interior thing is called inside margin, the gutter margin, and the top bottom left is called the outside margin. So they have different pixel ratios. You don't need to worry about it because you got everything ready to go. I'm just gonna go approve, and boom, easy peasy, right? Let me know in the comments how far. So far, easy peasy, right? We got the free KDP ISBN, we got the premium color, 8.5 by 11, no bleed, matte, manuscript, cover, AI generation thing, and boom. Now it's the fun part, costing, right? What's the price? So I'm just gonna go save and continue. So now let's talk about pricing strategies, right? So now the thing is, where do you want to, do you want to select territories that you have rights to sell this book? Go with all unless you have some specific territories that you have in your mind. Now is the fun part, right? So basically, let's say I call this a $15, right? It's a personalized book, let's say, for example, right? So then it's gonna basically calculate your royalty. So you're gonna make it almost close to $5, right? The printing for everything that it sells. You don't have to worry about shipping, you don't have to worry about printing, you don't have to worry about customer acquisition, you don't have to worry about like, I have to take care of all the things, I have to take care of a refund, I have to take care of quality and all that. Amazon does the thing for you. For the work that you do once, you get paid forever, right? Minimum is, they're saying $8.40. Maximum is $250. So if it is customized, you can even charge higher. If it has multiple pages, a series, you can kind of club it together. Different strategy. Printing cost is gonna be this. Amazon, this is the royalty rate you will earn on each sale based on the book's listing price, right? And then you can also expand the distribution. Other online retailers like universities and other booksellers if you want to, right? But I just keep it like that. It's gonna be $15 on .com, £11 on UK, 12 euros, Netherlands and Japan, and 20 Canadian dollars and 22 Australian dollars and stuff like that, right? There is, guys, that's it. It can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available for Amazon, and for your book to be available for purchase on Amazon. By clicking, you can get the printing copy if you want and publish your paperback. That's it, guys. That's it. How powerful it is. Literally, we started with just one story idea that we had, and we have a finished book ready to publish, ready to go, just like this, what I'm showing you on Amazon, where people can buy. It's already let me just save it as draft for now. It's already live, it's public, and then ready to go live on Amazon, right? Now, some interesting thing that it will do that's gonna help you a lot. Okay, so I go to bookshelves again. Now, some interesting thing I want to show you, right? So Jasmine and Alex, you can continue the setup. I did it around $10, right? Now, another very good thing, guys, which is very interesting thing I want to show you, is it not just makes your book available on Amazon across the world, it also going to put your book under Prime for from Prime members. So now imagine a vendor or a customer, imagine if you create a personalized book for someone, right? And they would have to wait 10 days to get something personalized, or not even to your level, to your level of personalization where image and text is personalized. They charge 30-40 bucks and 10-20 days shipping. You charge them the same amount or even slightly lesser to kind of entice the deal a little bit. And for the Prime members, it ships them literally in 2 days. Actually, Paul ordered it. He'll be showing you. Uh, and probably in the next training, I'll show you how it looks like. But in less than 2 days, it's gonna ship it. How amazing it is, right? Imagine someone, there's a birthday nearby. Let's say next week is the birthday, and they're thinking about the birthday gift. Boom, a unique idea that can be bought. Christmas we talked about, a Thanksgiving we are talking about, birthdays we are talking about. It's a, every year you can create a series of a book for every year of kid as they are growing, right? How powerful this is, right? A lot of people are creating a series of their characters. Whatever you can imagine is now possible without having to worry about shipping, printing, handling, quality issues, customer acquisition, whatever it is. It is live on Amazon. People can come, people can buy, they can see what language it is, they can see 8.5, they can buy to the thing, they can buy from anywhere they're in this world. That is the power. And that is what we achieved, guys. And it would not be possible without your feedback. In the previous training, we did talk about the Kindle, but the main thing is the paperback. Imagine, your grandkids, your users, the kids go through their own creations. Imagine kids create their own story, right? If you were to use it, and they can get it, read it, share it with their friends, show it to their friends. Like so many possibilities, right? Like I was just thinking, there's a one of my best friend's son. He is almost getting he's almost I think it's gonna be 3 years old, right? The personalized book for him, right? For special occasions, right? Christmas and birthdays and Thanksgiving and special occasions. And not just that, right? Let's say one of our amazing member, I was talking to her, and she was like, okay, I want to bring my stories that I have written, right? In the past, I want to now bring them for my kids, for my grandkids, right? That is the power. You can now hand them these memories, this experience that would not be possible before. That's the power, right? So let me know what you think about it. I hope you loved it. I hope you got a lot of value from this training. Though I'm gonna share my screen again. First, let's talk about the Q&A, the questions and answer, and then we're gonna get into other details, step by steps, if there are any. Right? So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. All right, guys, it was crazy, right? Let me know how many of you can see yourself publishing a book by the end of this week. Literally by the end of this week. Easy peasy. Now, let me tell you something, okay? This is just the tip of the iceberg, because now what I'm going to share with you is gonna blow you away. It is crazy thing, right? Literally, this feature was not available literally till yesterday. I would say even a few hours ago. But we finally did it. That means you got your storybook. You understood the fundamentals to get your paperback book ready to be published. Let's talk about your characters. Let's talk about your story. Let's talk about, getting your characters with your story in your style. How would you do that? How many of you would like to know that? This is one of the most requested feature, and super excited, super happy, and super excited and super energetic to say that, hey, we finally got it, right?
Yeah. So let me add this important thing here, guys. Okay. So what he's trying to say, sometimes, Yash doesn't go and tell this in more seriousness. Okay. How much beneficial it is for you. Okay. Look, one of the questions that came in the chat box, right, was basically, I want to put my own characters, whether it's my photos that I have, maybe AI generated ones that I saved up, maybe it's multiple characters, maybe I want to do mix and match where it's my children, grandchildren, whatever, they're the hero of the story, and then put other characters and animals, whatever, and make the story. So, he showed you, like, if you look at this example, I'm going to show you. This was Noah's Ark, right? About Noah's story. So this was not a personalized book per se, right? What if you want to do a book on Noah, my child, let's say, or my grandchild? right? Now, this is not going to be Noah, right? This is not going to be Noah. It's going to be their face, younger character, and that sort of thing, right? They're doing their own adventure. So what happened? Let's talk about it a little bit here. So writing part is automated, right? With ChatGPT and then all the other free tools you have, Mistral, Grok, Gemini from Google. All this is free. You can go create any amount of text inside, right? That's easy. But where the issue comes is when you add multiple characters, like you see here in this example, I'll show you, as you can see here, you got Noah and then you got two other kids here, right? Like if I can show you clearly up here. Yeah. So you see that, right? There's two other kids. How do we make these two kids, like these two, more, if you will, consistent, right? Meaning your own photos in one room. That's what we're trying to achieve. Now, why is this important? Okay, so first of all, yes, you can create storybooks and all that kind of stuff. Okay, this will sell really well, obviously, or even it'll be a good memory. It will be good for you to finish books and stuff. But when you talk about personalization, see, here's the thing: Amazon is not charging you per book that you publish. They don't care. They want you to publish as many as you want. So, in other words, let's say, for example, somebody's birthday is here next month or whatever. You want to create a specialized book for them. So, let's say, for example, that person is like I showed this to you previously, the baby dragon or whatever, right? They're like the Chinese zodiac or whatever. So now the point is that whatever the topic is that you want to do, when you can actually publish it with their actual personalization, not just the name, like the text or whatever, but actually their face and all that kind of stuff in there, that has never been done before. Let me repeat that again. That a personalized storybook where you can upload photos, right? And create a consistent character and multiple, forget about even one consistent, I'm talking about multiple consistent characters. Nobody has done publishing of an actual printable book like that. Yes, there's been some experiments done. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 pages, 5 pages, whatever, for fun. But in a real-time scenario where you can actually do it, what we like to say in production quality, right? Meaning where you can actually print it and share it with people, has not been done until Artistly did it. Okay, this is key for you to understand. One of the key things sometimes is people, underestimate certain things, right? Like for example, like a few months ago, we were like, oh, AI is going to replace humans. Have they? No. What did they say? Okay, AI is going to start ruling the world and, take over the defense systems and stuff. So they did? No. But what AI does really good job of is if you put your mind, body, and soul into it to focus on some specific problems that can be solved with feedback from users like yourself, right? That we can improve upon as time goes on. So what we're trying to talk to you about is imagine a book like this, but with your characters, your personalization, your any type of name you want to put it, and then you can share it. You can share it with family, you can share it with friends, and you can basically put anything you desire, any photos you desire, and drive the whole story that you want to drive. Okay. And one of those things where I'm so proud of this feature that when we built it as well is that I can actually do it and I can share it with my own children, right? Like my own kid. Like I want, so I can have future, I can pass it on, right? Like this book, for example, can be shared, right? When it's personalized to them, it's something that they can take to school with them. It's something that they can actually share with their friends, right? It's a memory that you can have. And that is a legacy thing, right? People will spend any amount of money for legacy, okay? Just so you understand. I know people are going to be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. There's like, we got to put this other type. Can you do more pages to all that? All I'm trying to say is two people given the same resources, same information, same knowledge, same assistance like you, right? One will succeed, one will fail. The difference is one understands the power of that feature and knows how to use it and understand there's nothing like it out there and implements it with confidence, right? And the other person just says, oh, I'm just going to wait until 100 pages I build. I'm going to just wait until, some little detail that I was thinking is going to be there. Like, for example, maybe you might think, okay, this one is kind of too bland. I want a little bit better. Of course, that's the next stage, right? Oh, I want to do comic books or whatever. But are you going to wait for it until everything is perfect for you to go end up doing something that nothing out there can do in an automated fashion? And improve upon it? Because see, this is our idea, right? when the community comes in and starts using it and builds stuff like what I'm sharing here, what we're going to be sharing with you right now, with your own characters, that will be your own creation. We will never be able to recreate something like that. You understand? It's unique to you, one of one. You know, in world we say, right, one of one. Nothing. That's what you created, personalized to you. That means there's nothing like it out there. So it's infinite value you can put to it. Correct? In terms of memory, nostalgia, in terms of money, whatever you want to call it. So please understand, okay? We will be covering these topics as we go along more in depth as we improve it. But when we talk about first to market, when we talk about something that could not be achieved before, something, AI at this point in time, it's gone to a level where we can be proud of actually publishing and sharing with others, right? Was not possible 6 months ago, was not possible 3 months ago. In fact, I don't see anybody else even talking about it right now. Why? Because they're not innovating, they're not taking feedback like what we are taking here, okay? So, I keep showing this book because this is our first one we printed and showed you. As that time goes on, it'll be even more revolutionary, even more powerful, even more innovative, right? In terms of what you can achieve. So this is the starting point, right? So, if, like you say, right, if the first thing you ever do is this good, I mean, really, where are you going, right? We're going more advanced. And that's what we're going to be going on and diving into because it's that powerful. So yes, go ahead. Yeah, I want to create my son's face in here. I want to put like here, like he's a baby. I want to have him read this book. How do I go about doing it?
Let's do that. I'm gonna share my screen, and the next I don't know how many minutes it's gonna blow your mind. So just wanna warn you and be ready. All right, perfect. This is one of the greatest feature we've ever created and done in Artistry. So I'm gonna share my. Right, so I hope you can see my screen right now. Now, this thing is really, really powerful, right? So, let me just go to Fast AI Image Designer. Now, just like it took me 2 days to accept it that not just that we cracked the KDP direct one-click KDP paperback publishing method, but we also cracked multiple consistent characters with your own story in any style. How powerful that is, right? When I realized it, it's like I'm like that mad scientist. I have this feeling, right? We're trying to solve something else, but find an answer of something else. And that's how with that discovery, it led to this the creation of this feature. And because a lot of you guys have been asking for that, specifically after the past trainings that we did, we were asking that, hey, I want to create 2 characters, three characters and stuff like that. Now this is how it will be possible. Okay, now I just can't wait to share that with you all. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through step by step and some interesting thing we did here. Okay, so let me start by first step. Okay, so as always, you go to the Storybook Studio and then you come to multiple character storybook and you get to create new studio. And this is a massive upgrade we did. Okay, now one interesting thing is because there's a trick here. Okay, in order to succeed with this feature, in order to get perfect results. So what I recommend is we started implementing this tip toolbar. So any feature you don't know, right? And I kind of get you, we hear you, that you don't know how to best utilize it, what are the best trips, what are the best tips, tricks. It's like, come here and you will see the entire YouTube video. You can even click on it and it will open up a new YouTube, open up a new tab, and you can I myself record 10-20 minute long video kind of going through that entire process. But I'm going to show you again in this training as well, right? Because this is one of the we just made this upgrade probably a few hours ago before we're doing this training, because I really wanted to show you today, right? It's just a cherry on the cake on that KDP direct publishing, right? Okay, anyways, so how does it work, right? So you can upload your character. Now, how can you upload your character, right? Like, how does it work? So let me actually explain you, right? So let me open up this in a new tab and let me show you the way it works. Okay, so the way it works is it only accepts one image, but that one image should be like this. Let me choose from library. I already created it. The one image should be like let me just see if I can get it. Okay, no worries. I'll go to create design. Okay, so step number 1, you go to create design. You go to advanced editor. Okay, now what you do, let me actually go to my project that I was working on. Anyways, we'll just start with new. You create a new project, guys. Okay, now what you do, okay, now this is very, very important. I want you to pay close attention to this one. Okay, so now, so far clear, right? Now what you have to do, you have to upload the character image, right? You want to have 2 characters, 3 characters, 4 characters, 5 characters, whatever it is, I don't really care. You have to put it, you have to make sure you have a name of that character, and it can be a pet, it can be a person, it can be a 3D Pixar style of you can convert a real photo to a 3D Pixar style. It can be in any style whatsoever, but just one caveat there is the characters that you upload, make sure they are in the same style. It should not be like one character is in a 3D Pixar style, second is in a manga style, third is in a Ghibli style. It won't work, right? It has to match. If you want to create a consistent style, the character needs to match. So what you have to do, let me actually pull up from my computer, just 1 second. Alright, so I just uploaded those images. Now here's the thing, very, very powerful, right? Now what are we gonna do here, Yash? Like how it's gonna go to my story and how can I create it? Okay, now just follow this instruction very carefully. Okay, so we give you inbuilt background removal. Click on it and then click on both of those, I mean, you know, one of those images one by one, and remove the background. This is very powerful, right? So the step 1 is creating the character sheet, we say, with their names that you will be calling them in the story, so that what you're doing in a sense here is you're giving AI a reference or a brief about your characters. Like, I will be using, and I want you, the AI, to use these characters in my storybook based on my story. So just like how you would do with a director, right? A director comes with a character sheet, right? Character brief, we call it, and stuff like that, right? So now what we do, we get these briefs, and you need to make sure that all your characters are at least waist up shots like these, or even slightly full body shots, so that when AI uses them in the story, when it creates the entire story, it does not hallucinate. Exactly. So I'm just gonna put her here, and I'm gonna do text, add a title box, and I'm gonna say her name is, let's say, Jasmine. All right, and I'm just gonna increase the size, and I'm gonna get him, and I'm just gonna create like this, and I'm gonna say Alex, right? Say Alex. That's all you gotta do. If you have a third character, let's say you want to, let's say, just completely different, like unique idea, right? You want to have both of your child to be in your story, and you also want your pet as well in your story, right? So I created these images using photo editor, right? Just go there, just say convert this into 3D Pixar style. You can upload a real photo and it will give you. And again, you are not just limited with 3D Pixar style. The example that I'll be showing you just in a bit are some 2D illustrations, vector illustrations, so it works with any style. But this is very, very important. Overall character sheet with their individual names. Now you need to export it, and you need to export it in JPG. That means with a white background, right? So what do we need to keep in mind? Number 1, the names are there. Number 2, the name perfectly represent the character they belong to. Number 3, it should be full body shots. Number 4, it should be in the same style. Like today, tomorrow, you can't say that, okay, this girl is a 3D Pixar style and this one is a more of a Ghibli style or a 2D style. It won't work, because like, how can you expect AI to be consistent when your source image is not consistent? Pretty clear, pretty solid. Let's go back to Storybook Studio And let's say I have these are from one of our amazing members. These are her two amazing characters, right? Josie and Claire. Now let's look at something really, really cool. You don't need to do anything now after this, okay? All you gotta do is have a story. Right now I don't have a story, so I'm gonna take help of Chat GPT to ask it, hey, give me a moral story featuring Claire and Josie. That's it. That's it. You can have your own story, right? Only thing I would say which you need to make sure that is 101%, you cannot miss this, is if you don't have the name of your characters in the story, this method will fail, because you mentioned in your character sheet that this is the name. So AI will find for it name, and if it can't find it, it will not work. Straight up, right? I hope that is clear. Let me know in the comment sections, right? So I like this moral story, but I want a moral story of patience, you know, and I want 2000 characters this time. I don't know, right? So let's say I just want a tale of the bamboo tree. Okay, this is nice. Okay, you can pick any character you want, right? Or you can pick anything. So let's say even we start with even this one just to show you, right? Copy the story, come to Storybook Studio, paste it. Very easy. Make sure which dimension I told you in order to get the KDP manuscript. 3:4. Very good. So 3:4. Book details. Now what these are, if you want your name, obviously you want your name on the cover image, and if you have any specific title requirements, you can tell it. So for example, okay, I'm gonna say Yash Sharma, and I'm gonna say book title. You know, let AI do this. I don't have any specific idea in my mind, and let it generate, right? So it's gonna take a few minutes. AI is kind of now getting to the work. It's a agent working 24/7 for you. Now it's gonna take your script, understand your character reference, divide it into all those pages, and we'll start creating the illustration page by page, and we'll give you the final illustrations ready with the story text divided. How cool and powerful this is. I actually, before doing that, right, I was just going through that. I created this 30 pages of story, mystical story. Look at that, how powerful this is. Pretty consistent, works across the board, any style you demand. Look at that, our story started to generate. Perfectly consistent characters in your style, with your story, with your characters. Boom. Look at that. It's never done before. Nobody on this planet right now has this thing figured out, and I'm so glad that I have you guys who constantly reminded me that, hey Yash, we needed this. So we finally, strive for that, aim for it, and we finally kind of got it where we need it to be, where we want it to be. How cool is that? Really, really, really. I mean, whenever I create, it's just dream come true, right? It's the best of the both worlds. It's like your characters, your own story with your own style. Crazy, isn't it? Right? I just get so excited sometimes. So yeah, because it took a lot of time and testing and figuring out this, that, this, and we're finally here. Okay, now a couple of things, right? As we know, the nature of AI is not always perfect, which you can probably guess it, but it does that 90% of the job. If you're not quite happy, you can always regenerate it. Step number 1. If you're not quite happy of the background, so let's say I'm not happy with the background, you can always click on click on edit image, and you can say replace the background with garden, for example, whatever it is, right? We're also making this edit option stronger. Sometimes it kind of goes away, sometimes it kind of goes away, does not follow your instructions properly, and we hear you. I'm working on it, I'm almost there, so that it makes sure that it completely follow your prompting styles and everything. Growing with patience. We got your style. Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. This is nice. Okay, so I'm gonna say this one, I don't know, because my reference photo has the Eiffel Tower, that's why this image has it. So I'm just gonna say edit the image, remove the Eiffel Tower. Easy peasy, right? Now I'm gonna say, okay, this is nice, honestly, but okay, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say edit image, make her hair color blonde, whatever it is, right? Yeah, let's see. So that's it. I think, which image did we remove? I forgot which one. I think this one we did, right? Remove the Eiffel Tower. Where was it? I forgot. Oh, this one. Yeah, boom. Look at that. Edit image. Say replace the background with garden. Easy peasy, right? Look at that. Boom. And sometimes you're not happy, okay, no worries, regenerate it. And one interesting thing, guys, that is gonna, like, this is the double cherry on the cake, right? Is sometimes no matter what you do, AI is acting like AI, right? They are standing. So, her kind of, her kind of legs goes away. So I'm just gonna say they are standing. They're standing in the garden. You want to be perfect, right? I hear you, right? So what we are working on right now, guys, is one of the thing, right? Is I'm working on a storybook illustrator, okay? This is, again, it's supposed to come next week. But anyways, the idea is, guys, no matter what you do, you will always kind of have that thing that, hey, it is changing that thing, it is changing this thing, make her wear the full jeans or whatever it is, right? Now you get the prompt, right? You have the Josie standing in the large water can, you get everything, right? I'm working on an illustrator called Storybook Illustrator under AI Design Assistant, right? And actually, let me add this 1 second. Sorry, she is wearing purple jeans. Yeah. So basically what I'm working on is a swapping feature, right? Meaning you go to a Storybook Illustrator, okay? And then you go to Storybook Illustrator and you put your reference image that you uploaded it here, right? Now this is good. The Storybook Illustrator will be under AI Design Assistant. I just want to let you know how will it work. And you get the prompt here, right? So you can even ask ChatGPT to fine tune the prompt and stuff like that, right? And then you can generate individual images using that, and you can swap it for this page, So that last 5% where you get the most concerns and major complaints. Okay, I see there you got it. So I don't know what you call this. So change. Okay, so let me regenerate, right? Anyways, so you get this, right? To get it almost to work perfectly, right? You can use it and you can swap images. That means whatever you created using that, you can swap it with this image. So you can almost get the perfect images always, right? And you almost kind of get it, right? So let me just edit this image, say replace background with garden, right? It's AI, it's 5% of the time you had it, hey, do this, do that, do this, but it's pretty cool, guys. Like, really, like I can't tell you how many hours and how many days, how many weeks it went into to figure out this, right? It was crazy. It was crazy. And then, one other interesting thing that I kind of made that mistake myself here, and I wanted to let you know. The images I did, because just before the training when I tried it, and was one of our amazing members characters, I uploaded a body shot, waist up body shot. That's why it is always hallucinating what she's wearing, like till the lowers, right? If you get a full body shot, right, look at that, how crazy it is, right? It's perfect, right? If you upload a full body shot, it will always be perfect, always, right? And that's the power, right? Almost. Okay, it looks pretty good. So I'll say she is wearing, okay, I'll just regenerate this design. Actually, let's just regenerate this. Because, after working on all these features and stuff like that, I kind of had that weird bug in me that I want everything to be perfect. Everything. Minute details, the colors, the hairs, the eyes. you know, I didn't. I used to. I used to not be that person like that. Like I was not a person like that. Like I was like, okay, we'll just go with it. But I'm like, damn, you know, we gotta be perfect. This is going to go in the hands of hundreds of thousands of users potentially, right? Your books, right? And for millions of users who are using Artistly, right? So that it has to be perfect, and we finally did it. Yay! I'm so happy. Look at that, very cool. So yep, that's it. So now what you're gonna do? Actually, you know, I really want my regenerate, right? I am also not happy with the cover, so boom, one click, easy peasy. Look at that. Look at that. Multiple actions, multiple dimensions, not dimensions, multiple actions with your own story. Very, very, very powerful, guys. Think about this. All the characters that you have with yourself, and you wanted to really get them to other people with your own story, you could not because of any reasons. Now it should not be that. Oops, it kind of messed it up again. No worries. Regenerate. It does not cost you a penny to regenerate. So regenerate as many times you want, right? And that is the power of Artistly, right? So let me know how cool this is. Let me know in the comment sections. We'll stop sharing my screen just in a bit, and then we'll come to your questions if you have any, right? But this is so freaking cool. Like, I just loved it. I just can go on and on. Imagine now you can create an entire series of
Hey guys, so you actually I think had his electricity go. So let me actually kind of do some Q&A here while and we call it a day. Okay, so one sec here. All right. So you can hear me though, right? So okay, excellent. All right. So this is the thing with live stuff. You know, people always ask us like, you know, you're doing it live. Yeah. So what's happening here because of live and stuff? So yeah, he just joined in just now. I think he's just connecting. So I will add him in here in just a sec. But this is the thing with live, right? So now you got the point, right? Or like basically, so now the question is, right? How much is Artistly? So if you haven't gotten it, go to artistly.ai. All right. So I'll put up the link here if you haven't. You know, sometimes people show up and they're like, I don't know what Artistly is. What are you talking about? Well, all this that we showed today is created via Artistly, okay, the application. You get it for a one-time price still, which we might, you know, basically raise the price up down the line and that sort of thing. All right. Now, a couple of things here real quick that I kind of want to mention. I just want to show you this in this section here is check this out, okay? So in here, if you saw, one of the questions that I saw repeated quite a bit as well was about, you know, I get the point of the book. I get the point about personalization. I also get the point about having to actually create multiple consistent characters and all that kind of good stuff. I see it. Okay. Now, one of the things though that you might be wondering though, right, is, okay, you see these questions. Can you create planners, right? Can you create other stuff? Okay. Yeah. I see Yasha's
sorry.
here. Yeah. So I think you're still
Yeah, my
laggy a
internet
little
was
bit there.
gone. Sorry.
So yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So stuff like this, right? Like this is going to be next. Okay. This is the next stage of what we're going to be planning on doing it. Okay. So you see, it's like this. Okay. Every detail requires huge amount of attention to detail right now. So for example, even in the case of the storybook right here, we got, right? There's components here, right? So let's say, let me just write it down so you folks can understand it in more detail. So So for example, we're doing this. In this, we're going to have in this style, right, of children's storybooks, you're going to need to have multiple consistent characters, right? Which we just discussed right now. That needs to be created to perfect it, so to speak, right? Multiple consistent characters is one. Next thing you want to also do is basically where you want to have the ability to upload your own photos, children's, kids, and that sort of thing, and then turn it into a 3D style, right? Because that will give you that cartoon look, which, children like to read, that sort of thing. So basically ability to personalize, right? With your own photos, right? With own photos, right? So basically, the idea is that everything, right, has to be done one by one to perfect it, because we have to test it now. You got to tweak it. You got to make sure that it works across the board. So my point is, at every stage of the equation, you have to basically make sure that wherever it is that you're doing, let me actually share my screen properly here, because I think I couldn't share, like, what I was writing was not being shared. It was just a tab, right? Okay. Anyway, what I was typing in here was the ability to, let me see here. Yeah. Add multiple consistent characters, personalize with your own photos, as I mentioned. And this is just for one style. Now you add planners. There's a different set of things that we got to fine tune and plan for. Comic books is the same thing. White papers, corporate white papers, right? Presentations, all this kind of stuff, which you were all requesting. Everything needs attention to detail. See, what we are realizing more and more is that a lot of these so-called AI tools that promise everything are just gimmicks in the end. And because that attention to detail to make sure that every last edge case is resolved is not being focused on by people. So then what's happening? We have people right now, right? Like, just like you will say, okay, Artistly is great value. It's a one-time payment. Awesome. But this other tool is better. Then you'll go to that other tool, even though it's more expensive. And then you want to create a multi-consistent character storybook, can do it. There's all kinds of problems. You want to upload your own photos, can do it. All kinds of problems. You want to actually go and publish it to Kindle, they don't even know how to do it. So forget about that. Third, you want to print it into a paperback setup like this, right? You can't do that either, because the people building that software are not the people who are actually testing it and using it. They don't drink their own Kool-Aid, right? So ultimately, then what happens? You're wasting your time trying to go through all these other 5 or 10 different solutions when you should just be sticking around with us, and we're trying to add all these features for free, teaching you how to use each of these features as well. Correct? So this is exactly why these trainings are so useful, and we'll shorten these trainings. This is more Q&A style, so you can have your questions answered when you come in live. It's worth your while. But then afterwards as well, what we do is we put the tutorials page of Artistly. We actually put step-by-step training, short, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, that kind of thing, for these types of features. Because what we want here is that you come in live, the time spent, we are answering all your questions live. All right. So that is the key thing. The other thing that I want to mention as well is, with time, okay, you will realize that when you actually publish something, right, and you put your name on it, it gives you a huge sense of accomplishment. That is the starting stage to take the next level and next level and next level. The worst thing that happens to people, when especially since we're talking about storybooks, let's talk about that, is writer's block, right? Writer's block, like if I write it here, is basically the problem of trying to put things on paper and getting things out there. So the situation becomes that you don't even ever start it because it was too complicated to begin with. There's too many moving pieces. You need a graphic designer, you need an illustrator, you need all these other people to help you. And even then you need revisions and all that. It costs you a lot of money, of course, but also it's going to cost you a lot of time. Okay, time is more valuable than money. You see, this is sometimes when I say this, people kind of get angry. The difference between, but the reality is reality, right? I didn't make the rules of the game. The rules of the game have always existed. So it's like this. Like the difference between now the people who are really successful and people who are not is the wealthy really basically scale through leverage, meaning when they publish something, millions of people are seeing it and doing it because they can automate the systems and stuff. And the people who are not successful, are not where they need to get, they're always giving everything with time. And because time is infinitely more valuable than money, what happens? We always feel like we're giving our life for something, right? And that hurts. Of course, not the most fun thing, right? And so as things become more expensive, inflation and all that, the one thing that has not risen in price is artist lease price, right? In the last 2 years, which we might have to increase down the line as we keep adding these features. But you're all grandfathered in with all these free updates and stuff we're doing. It's a lot of fun for us as well, because as we are learning everything from your feedback, we're improving things, right? So my point is, like, at the end of the day, understand that these concepts are the building blocks for you to start getting ideas. Okay. These ideas will help you actually go take your business to the next level in many different ways, not just one. Okay. Because it's like this. One of the questions that came in was, okay, I want to publish this book. Who's going to buy it? Look, the first person who should be buying it is your spouse, your family, your relatives, your best friends. If they can see value in what you created, then they will automatically come in, leave reviews. They will automatically spread the word. And then the rest of the world will find the same value, right? It begins at home first. You cannot find some stranger randomly who will value something, right? And the same concept applies here. And the way we do it is we remove the frictions out of the window as much as possible, okay? So we'll be answering some Q&A stuff in relation to this, okay? We see a lot of questions coming in and stuff like that. So we will kind of answer them as we go along right now. We'll do the best. Of course, we don't want to go drag it too long so people won't really do it. Appreciate that, Christina. Thank you so much. Now, the features should not confuse you. That's why we do this training. We have a lot of features, yes, but these features should not confuse you. Okay. Is that clear? The idea is to focus on ones that make sense to you at that point in time. Say, for example, you learn the framework now. Once we make the update to be able to create, say, white papers for corporations, or say, for example, comic books or nonfiction books, same elements apply. The workflow will be the same. The way you're going to create characters, instead of creating 3D style, maybe you're going to have comic book style. Maybe instead of creating comic book style, they're realistic style, right? Same concept, right? It doesn't change at all. The idea is the same. The frameworks will change in terms of basic little changes here and there, okay? I just want to make sure that this part is clear. And finally, what I kind of wanted to mention as well is what's coming up, okay? So we do hear your feedback. So from this side of the equation, you see here, I'll kind of remove my screen. I'll show you. Hopefully this will be easy to show. So if you see right now, I'll put myself here one sec, okay? So if you see this particular book, you got the, print here, and then you got this text here, right? So it's pretty cool, pretty nice and stuff like that, right? Like so, which we printed, obviously. One of the things, though, is some of the other books out there, especially for children, you're going to have that page be a 2-page setup, right? Sort of like this, okay? Like you're going to have so you're going to have text here, and then you're going to have the whole thing past 2 pages of the book, you see? Like this. Or like this, let's say, right? So this is something we're working on as well, which we're going to be releasing for as well as an update. See, these little details we want to focus on and perfect it. Then we can call it like, say, for example, like, okay, we perfected the children's book concept. Now let's move to the next iteration, let's say, so to speak. Okay, is that clear, folks? Do you understand? So the question, to answer your question about like, okay, can we do the next iterations? First, let us perfect some of these things so you get everything you need to professionally produce stuff that would take $5,000, $4,000, or whatever, and not just money, time, right? Huge amount of time, revisions, this and that. So that is the goal we have in mind. Now, why are we doing all this training? Why can't we just say like, okay, folks, go towards the tutorials page and stuff? Because the features, like, the suggestions you folks were asking, like Steph was saying here, right? We can be patient as things go on. Thank you so much and stuff, because we sometimes disconnect. There's all these other issues that come in. So what I kind of want to mention on this topic here is with your feedback, we're improving things, okay? Oftentimes what happens, right? It's like how we say, right? 1% strength versus a community together, you can move mountains, right? So as a community, as every one of you is suggesting us feedback and some of these things, we're adding these into the application. What happens now? It's like we're moving mountains together, stuff that other people are not able to do. So we don't mind spending the time to be able to give you as much value in terms of answering your questions and stuff, but also mainly to understand the idea behind your feedback. We're noting down every time and making sure, okay, this is something we can do in a couple of hours. This this is something that can take us a couple of weeks. Okay, the couple of hour stuff, let's finish it up. We don't have to post into a roadmap or anything and waste time, because what happens with roadmaps and feature suggestions sometimes is like they keep on adding up, right? The list keeps going up and up and up. And then at a certain point, even the people in our team are like, well, there's 1,000 feature requests. We don't know if we can ever get to number 999. Instead, when you come live here, like, okay, this is a feature suggestion that came in, can be done in a couple of hours. Why even waste time making a checklist, right? We'll just get it done while we're live as well, right? So yeah, somebody just bought it, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Everett, for being an Artistly customer. So I guess there is some value for us to actually, get people who are not even customers of Artistly come to these trainings, because you see the value of how we're consistently doing these trainings and consistently being able to improve the application, right? Long term. So like I said, if you haven't, make sure you get Artistly there. You see that link in the bottom, right? Artistly.ai. This one, that's the, just like that one right there, Artistly.ai. Okay. So now the other thing, Yash, you're here, right? You see any questions you want to answer?
Yeah, I actually want to show what we say, right? Is I saw that couple of people were talking about coloring book, right? So literally message the devs, and right now the coloring book feature individually is there. So if you show your screen, if you show your Artistly screen, under AI Design Assistant, we just pushed it probably like 20 minutes ago, as you're saying, right? There will be an option called photo to coloring book. So if you show your main app application, so under AI Design Assistant, you'll see it in the fast AI. You are actually muted. Okay. Anyways, while Paul is sharing that, sorry guys, my internet
Yeah, I think you want to
on.
share it, because I think what's happening here is my screen is showing our internal server here just so far.
Okay, no worries. Let me share it. No worries at all. Let me share this then. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the two features that we just there's a echo coming from it. Okay. There are two features that we just did, right? Publish. It's just photo to coloring book and normal coloring book. So what the way it is, let me just show you. 1 second. Sorry. Bear with me. And it's on laptop right now. It's not that user friendly. Anyways, so I'm just gonna show you. Pretty cool. I hope you can. Can you see my screen, guys? Is my screen visible, Paul?
Yeah. You go to the dashboard. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, there you go. Look at that. It will be a little slow, but anyway, you go to assistant, and now you're gonna see something really powerful. So yeah, now you have photo to coloring pages. Boom, and we added colorify literally just 20 minutes ago. Meaning you can take your photo, upload it. Let's say if I have a photo from a recent creation, let's say this photo, right? For example, this photo, and let's say this is in 4:5. I can convert any photo I want into a bold black and white coloring pages. Boom. And you can do the vice versa. Meaning, if you have any coloring page, oh, sorry, if you have a black and white page, you can colorify them using colorify pages feature. Very cool, right? So if I'm just going to show you, if any, let's say I show you this, right? You don't have to do anything. Just upload the image, choose the dimension, and colorify. Easy peasy, right? And that is the power of it, right? Look at that. That cartoon that we just used, right? This one is converted into a beautiful coloring page. Bold, thick coloring page lines, perfect for coloring pages, right? And that is the power. That is the power, right? And in the AI Design Assistant, we have Storybook Illustrator as well, which is very cool. So all the images, reference photo that you are uploading, or AI character images, if you're using any of these options, you can now individually create those images and in the near future you can swap them with those existing images. I will be showing you, but this is coloring 5 pages and 42 coloring book. Massive. Make sure you try it. I just wanted to
Yeah, so
pinpoint that
basically,
because
I just want to say, because in case his audio is off, or I think I got it, mine to set it up as well. I kind of had to reset my password. See, even this is the reason why we want to basically, if you're not tech friendly too, it's good sometimes to just use easy to use features like I forgot password. Anyway, so what he was mentioning is so if you go into your account right now, in artistic account now today, so if you go in and if you go into say create design, right? And then under that fast AI designer. So let's actually do that. So go to create design, fast AI designer. So meaning this right here. And then you go into the next feature, which is that AI design assistance. Okay, this one, you see, this one I just highlighted. And then you go and click that. These are the features that got added. You see this photo to coloring page here, right? And colorify pages is the second one right here. So basically the idea here is that you can just turn a photo into a coloring page. And then you can also effectively, for example, you can actually make a photo into a black and white line art. Now, I'm guessing then the next stage, Josh, right? We're going to do that same thing into the AI Storybook Studio so that they can create a full length coloring book, right? Which is a huge market in Amazon Kindle. So folks, just for
Yep, that is
reference, what I'm talking about, what I'm talking about here, so you know, is that you know how we talked about storybooks, right? So one of the storybooks, I guess, like if you've seen a small, this is a storybook. The other type of book that does really well on Amazon Kindle has been actually for a long period of time is something called the adult coloring books, right? So if you go into Amazon here and then you just go in and you can search, by the way, right? So adult coloring book, you see this? And then you see these. This is what we talk. Spooky, cute. You see this 5,200 reviews here. Stress relief, bold and easy coloring book, right? Stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? Like this one, mindfulness coloring book. So you can click on something like this, mindfulness books, and then it will show you how it is laid out. Like you see this? This is what we mean. So it's going to have black and white patterns. And then you can basically color it yourself once you have the printed design. Now, here is where it becomes important for you to understand. Why didn't we release it until today? So it's like this. With coloring books in particular, you need a physical format book, right? Like this one. I mean, you don't see people coloring books in like a Kindle or an iPad generally, right? Especially children, especially even adults. So they want something like this, right? Like an actual physical book they can open up, take their markers, and color it, right? It's fun. So printed is what matters. So we wanted to first get the printing part as simple as possible. So the next stage will be this, okay? There's kids coloring book and adults coloring book as well, right? Like this is mindfulness patterns here. This is the other one. You see this 100 different types of flowers. So you can color the flowers like so. You get the point, right? So there's a different set of challenges that come with coloring books in particular, right? We have to account for certain different cases that is not so straightforward like it would be in a storybook like we just showed you. The next stage is for us to go sit and take your feedback in, right? And specifically go step by step, right? Every element of it that we would go after and make sure that it is perfect every single time. So when you're creating it, okay? Now, this is one area of Amazon Kindle that is very untapped in a way, in a sense that it's very addictive. Somebody who gets one coloring book, generally once they're done, they want to, just like a puzzle, they want to do others. So same concept, right? So because you can create as many of these coloring books as you want, right, with Artistly, and the systems are going to automate. So in other words, what we will do is, like, if you come back into the Artistly app, you see here under the AI Studio right here, that is where we're going to add the automated way to create multi-page coloring books. Just like how you have, see, multi-character storybook, script to storybook, and idea. Eventually, we're going to first internally test it, but we're going to have another feature called, coloring books, right? That will have multiple pages. That will have like a story behind it if you want to, or specific themes you want to do it. And then people can go and then they can, buy it, of course. Even you can share it with family, friends, and stuff like that. It's a nice hobby. They can go color and good to go, right? And there's different types of coloring books as well, by the way. There's one where in one page, you're going to have the color image and then one will be black and white. So people can kind of use that as an example to copy model after, you know what I mean? And then the other type will be just straightforward. Okay, you're an adult now, you know how to color, you do whatever theme you want. That's another style. But this depends on what you want. So we're going to go in both directions. What's happening right now that I kind of wanted to mention here, hope it makes sense to you. You can let me know. Is that, some of these features, the last 1 or 2%, right, of the edge cases like bleed, no bleed, book cover, book back cover, for example, little details, right? The aspect ratio and stuff like that. Those are what take us the most amount of time. It's not the technology itself, So what happens is we have to go test it. Okay, this aspect ratio has this issue. Okay, this has this issue. For coloring book, this is the format that is very popular. Okay, so how can we recreate that? How can we basically make it easy for you to be able to do? So that's what takes us a long time, more than even the technology. Because as you can see, to implement the technology in the AI design assistance in the tab to do the photo to coloring page feature was not that difficult, right? We just put it in one at a time. But when you start doing multiple pages and having it publishable in Amazon, which has its own set of requirements for the Kindle platform and all that, adds up an extra layer of complexity for us to do. Which is another reason why we've been focusing on our trainings on this for the last few weeks. So we can get more feedback and we know, okay, now we have the framework, right? How to do it with, let's say, one type of book. These are the questions people were having. These were the issues people were having. Okay, now next time around when we have that checklist items we have to pay attention to, makes our life easier too. So which you really, really do appreciate all your feedback, your comments and stuff for that reason alone. All right. So, yeah. So Ben Green, is this live? Yeah, we are live. Okay, we've been live for a couple of hours now, answering all your questions and stuff like that, right? But the point is, why do we do this? Because we want to get your feedback, okay, and stuff as well, okay? So just want to be clear so every one of you understands that, okay? Now, the other question is that basically coming down to specifics, right? So specifics, which is basically, for example, some of these features, right, that you're getting can be automated further and stuff like that. So I'll talk about that just a little bit shortly because I don't want to go into too much detail, but because we haven't fully finalized some points. But, this AI bulk actions feature that we developed, which is the most unique thing that nobody has developed further, right, until now. What it does is you can add multiple actions for a specific task, right? So like, let's say, for example, I can choose from library, I can choose this little mouse, and then I can go and then remove the background, and I can upscale it or extend it, right, to a different dimension, right? This is a square image, I'll do this way. And then now you can build the action, correct? So what our plan is as we kind of master some of these aspects, we're going to automate a lot of the processes that you would need a Photoshop to do, or a lot of editing and stuff like that to be done, key favorites, let's say, right? One could be publishing, which we discussed right now for Amazon Kindle. One could be, say, for example, you wanted to create multiple variations of one image in different dimensions for social media. You get the point, right? And this is something that we've been mastering behind the scenes quite a bit. What you see is pretty rudimentary, probably like 10% of what we really want to achieve. So that's another area which we really wanted to get into. And you will see huge amount of updates on this as we go along as well. Because here's the thing, okay? It's just not about a feature, it's about how it works, right? How can it help you? So in a way, we have to drink our own Kool-Aid, right? So let's say, for example, we created a social media campaign for our own businesses in different industries. Then we test, okay, this type of style worked for this. For Pinterest, this is the aspect ratio. For LinkedIn, this is the aspect ratio. This type of image does well. This type of variation does well. So these are the components and what we like to call playbooks, right? That we wanted to, our free workflows that we're going to put behind the scenes. So it'll simplify, right? So little details, right? So what we're planning on is this. So that what happens is you don't have to sit and think what to do with Artistly. We will lay the playbook and play, the whole workflow for you. So you just press a few buttons, you get the end result. And let's say one day you have an idea saying, okay, I want to publish to Amazon Kindle my story, my characters. You can go into Artistly, go ahead, and day one you can do it, right? And you will know that it was as good as it can be in the world. No other application could do it. And even if you were to do it manually, it'll be very difficult to achieve simply because of other complications when it comes to manual, right? Time, money, effort, relying on other people to help you who work on a different time zone, different timings. They're free, they're not free, you don't even know, right? You get the point. So the point is, as Artistly released, okay, and as we're rolling out all these features, we are doing stuff which we could not do before. This is the key thing I wanted to mention. And going forward, you'll start seeing some of these things coming into fruition and live into the application. What that means is, let's say, for example, we wanted to publish 5 books, right? And we wanted to use it for our internal use, for our customers, or for, let's say, whatever it was, right? Like distribute in our church, let's say. It doesn't matter. The point was that if you wanted to do that, then what happens? You do one, takes you 2 weeks, you give up because you're like, oh, it's going to take me another 2 weeks for the other one. So 5 will take me 2 months. That's assuming like I'm not busy with other tasks at life, right? That life comes up at me. So that's going to cost me, let's say, $1,000 to $1,500 for an illustrator, designer, graphic artist, proofreader. You get the point. And then by the time you get to even one, you give up on the other 5. Now you can do 5 for less time than it takes to do one, and less money too, right? Obviously, way less. So this opens up other opportunities for you, right? Which means your productivity is a lot higher. Your ability to be able to sustain your productive mind, right? Like, because success is 50% psychology, 50% the ability for you to get a task done, right? Or skill. That psychology comes down to how easy something is to do or how doable it is. So everything that we've shared today, right, is doable for you. You can see yourself. Like, you can say, okay, I'm running into some issues. I'll go watch this replay after. I'll watch some tutorials after. But this replay alone, I'll go step by step. I'll go back, pause because it's on YouTube. I'll go and I'll check this point. I'll go and I'll see this point right here. We put this description. He said bleed or no bleed. He said no bleed. Okay, why? Okay, let me go check that. I'll go here. So step by step, right? Do everything step by step. Then what happens? It will internalize into you. Now you have the confidence to be able to do it again and again and again in different areas. Stuff which you thought was not even in your expertise, let's say. Okay. And that is what we are noticing quite a bit right now, as well as we take Artistly to the next level, and other applications as well, of course. But mostly, let's talk about Artistly today because this is the application we're talking about. What we're noticing is that when we have a community of people like our Facebook group, if you haven't joined it, join our Facebook group, of course, which you should all be part of. But if you're not, ask us for the link for the Facebook group, and you can request features there. But also the other point is, as a community together, what happens is that we know, okay, this person is using Artistly this way that we did not imagine, correct? So let's work on that. So for example, you're wanting to create comic books and stuff like that. You can give us suggestions that these are the type of aspects we want in our comic book creation. We'll implement that, right? It'll simplify our research and development process as well, because half the time goes into research more than the development, right? Where to put as well. So all this time, what we've done is what we're already good at, we've implemented in Artistly. What we want to plan on doing, as with your help as a community, is we want to implement what you want, okay, with the frameworks and playbooks that we have, right? So hope that is clear, okay? So again, if you Yash, if you see any other questions, you can answer that. Otherwise, we'll call it a day so they can watch the replay again.
Yeah, sure. If my audio is good, then only I can share. Otherwise, I can mention it later. It's good. All right, perfect. So I just want to cover a couple of questions. So first of all, Lisa, right? Thank you so much, Lisa. We really appreciate you. So you were asking, I saw your question. You were asking about what do I need to pick if I want to create 8.5 by 8.5 inches, right? So what we are working on, right? It's a part of a bulk actions. Is you will be able to create perfect inches images, and it's a tedious process. Now we're gonna go into Q4. There will be a lot of t-shirt designs, canvases, wall art, and all that. And the problem I faced is like 11 by 13 inches. Now what do? I really don't know what is 11 by 13 inches, right? So we are working on something. You just put it in inches, whatever inches you want, and you generate an image. We give you the direction, right? And it will perfectly give you in that inches. So you don't have to do that manual. So we hear you. I'm working on it, and it will be ready soon. So that's one thing. Sorry. So another thing is, let's say, shout out to one second. Yeah, Daniel Brown. Shout out to her. She was the one who gave me the idea for multiple character of being able to use it. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. So yep, and thank you so much for everyone who's spending their precious time with us till the very end. It really means a lot, and I hope you loved it. Apologize for this internet disconnectivity, but anyways, it happens in the live scenario, right? So that's pretty much it from my side. Again, as I said, whatever we cover is just the tip of the iceberg. So many things I've planned for you guys. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun Q4 that we will spend together. And just to not overwhelm me, we're gonna go topic by topic every single week. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions, and if not, then we'll
Yeah,
just
so I'll
wrap.
answer a couple of points that came in here and then we'll call it a day. So,
Yeah,
point number one that came in is like stuff like this, right? Will that be inches and pixels as well? Yeah, if you can do inches,
yeah,
pixels is just a conversion of inches. So it doesn't really matter. The
yeah,
other point is like specific points, right? Like, okay, I have this idea, like in the multi-character storybook, I want it in this particular way, this particular feature. Let's say, for example, do not hesitate, email our support team, support@artistry.ai, or even in our Facebook group, you can suggest suggestions and stuff. We're always open to them, and we're always monitoring our Facebook group and stuff, and we always do because we appreciate the community. Because we can't answer all of them in the live stream because sometimes we have to understand your question in depth. Maybe you meant it in a certain way, but it was actually another point you wanted to mention, right? For example, so that way we can get a better understanding. So definitely email our support team. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is if you see Artisty as a whole, right? So many features, right? Like if it's like V6, you have like so many things here. Like you have these many features here, the V6 designer, you got AI designers, agents, then you got the advanced designer, then you got like the storybook studio. See, it all depends on how you want to use it. Okay. This is your creative canvas. It's like imagine Photoshop, or Canva, you can use those applications for anything, right? That's the same thing Artistly is headed towards. We want to use it for any type of design job, and it will be powered by AI. What will make us different from everybody else, and it is already showing with the amount of feedback we've gotten, the amount of customers, and just the popularity of Artistly as a whole, is we have been an AI first company from the very beginning. What that means, in other words, is from version 1.0 itself, like when we release the first version of Artistry V6 right now, we've always focused on make it natively AI, right? So in other words, we never ask you to download it in your computer, and your computer has to have the best graphics card or like best specifications and stuff like that. It doesn't matter, right? It's cloud. Second thing, if you notice, is that all the features here were designed based on your feedback to make it even more accurate. So for example, AI images, for example, by default hallucinate, right? So for example, image with the same prompt, you generate 4 images, they'll never be the same. Of course. So that was a challenge from the very beginning. How do you do consistent characters when you can't even guarantee the first 4 images without consistent character would be accurate? So that took us a lot of effort to make sure that we focus. Like if you look at the original consistent characters here in the consistent character train your own AI feature versus what we've added into the AI Storybook Studio, very, very different, right? And in terms of what you can achieve in the storybook case, you can generate so many pages together and manage the consistency, the story, and all that throughout. So to look at it, there are a lot of challenges behind the scenes that we've over the years, like the last couple of years, specifically over the last 6 months or so, we've created a workflow and a framework and a system to make it better and better. And that effectively means tomorrow you open up Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, with their monthly subscriptions and difficulty in going to university to learn it, let's say, for example, or college. Here, it's easy to use, yes, but gives you the flexibility to do anything you desire, right? And because it's AI first, we've already optimized everything behind the scenes, so you never need a really strong computer. You can use a 10-year-old laptop. It still works fine. Never uses your computer specs like Adobe Photoshop where you have to download it, for example, in your computer, right? That was good 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But now, with these AI tools, no computer is good enough. There's so much processing power it takes to generate one image. It's just crazy. So you cannot run it in your laptops or your iPads and stuff. They're not capable, okay? So what that means, in other words, is that as the future is headed, all the other platforms are like more trying to catch up with AI, while we're already up here and we have only to go, and they're like 2 to 3 years behind us in many cases for that reason, right? So why is this important to you? It is important to you because what's going to happen down the line is some of the features we're introducing will never be in any of these legacy applications, no matter how much the cost, no matter if they have 10,000 people in their team, because we have 10,000 customers customers like yourself. As an example, just in our Facebook group alone, one of the groups has 10,000 people, other one has 72,000 people, right? Customers. So just that alone is more powerful for us for feedback than 10,000 employees these companies have, right? Why? Because they're all over the place in terms of like ideas and what to implement, and they take forever. While we know, okay, we'll only develop the feature if it makes sense to you. When we make sense to us first, of course, in some cases, but many cases make sense to you and it works for your business or makes sense for your use case. Like for example, this multi-character storybook feature that we just added, for example, and that coloring book feature as well that we just added, for example, they're saying beta. What does that mean when we say beta? It means we took your feedback, we implemented it and launched that feature, right? What does that mean now? You can use it, give more feedback, make it better. It's your product. Think of it like we are your developers, we are your designers, your illustrators, listening to you and implementing it as you want it, because it's not about us as well, right? We know, you know better about what you want and what use case you want. So similarly, as a community, that's why we do these live streams. We take the time, we take your feedback and stuff like that. Is what we are looking for is we are not experts in everything. Tomorrow when we try to create corporate white papers, for example, which I'm familiar with, then I can add in some value in there in terms of what we can add into the features. But let's say nonfiction books or let's say comic books with specific styles, I'm not a perfect expert in them. So we'll take your feedback, what are the features you need in that, what are the type of things you're looking for, and then we'll implement it. Correct? It might take us some time, but you can be rest assured that it'll be implemented to the best of our ability and best ability in the entire marketplace. Okay, that's the key thing. As long as you have that confidence, then you can go ahead and be sure that, okay, as AI is improving, artistry will improve, right? Our team will improve, of course. And everybody who's lagging behind, they try to catch up with us. We'll still keep going 2-3 years ahead of them. And I don't even mean that in a competition perspective, but time is money, right? You want to wait for a year or 2 years until some big company adds this feature, even in a lackluster way, because they've not looked at your feedback, specifically what you want, or you want us. We're fast with things, right? We keep updating things quickly and also make sure that you want it in a certain way, we'll implement it, right? Like say, for example, we were discussing just now, can we have it in specific inches for that book? Because you have it in a certain way right now. So we've learned that feedback now. We'll go back and we'll implement it. And we'll implement it in a way, not just for you, but every other user of Artistry benefits from your feedback, right? Which is going to help it for many years to come, because you'll have that little mark of suggestions, right? It's like building a house. You have like, for example, some suggestion in how the furniture should go here, how the kitchen should look like and all that. In the end, that design element of how that kitchen, if it was the world's best kitchen, it'll help every single house builder in the future, right? Because that kitchen can be replicated. Same concept here. That feature will help you people even 2, 3, 4 years down the line as we keep adding them and perfecting them for your use case. Okay. And this is what's going to separate us from everybody else. And it's going to provide you the most value, because it's all about actually getting the end result, right? If you're trying to create and publish a book in Kindle, you need both the AI to help you. You need the training from us to teach you that last few steps to fill in. People were asking questions like ISBN number. Do I get it? They said, yes, Amazon will provide you that when you're publishing it. The other question was like, how do I create, let's say, the name, the titles and stuff? We showed you that in the training. So instead of saying, oh yeah, we can create storybooks, it's easy to say, how do you actually get the software to the finish line, right? I'll use the software starting step number 1. Step number 10, let's say, is to get the book published and in your hands like this, right? That's step number 10. How do we get to it as quickly as possible? And let's say it's step number 10 now. Our goal is in like next month or so, make it step number 5. 5 steps only, half, maybe 3 steps a month later, right? That's the goal. That's the goal, to get you to the finish line like this, okay, in your hands. So you can be proud of what you created and you have it to showcase to everybody around the world, right? Whatever the end result may be, right? Along the world, right? So anyway, so that said, I see your questions. Just make sure you email our support team if we didn't cover anything. Make sure to watch the replay after, okay? If you joined in late, this YouTube live stream will have an automatic replay after it ends. Like right now, where we end it. That means you can go rewind back and watch the training on how to publish to Amazon Kindle and stuff. Definitely do that, because some steps you might want to check again and again, right? And again, Thank you so much for taking the time to be there. See you on our next training sessions coming up. You'll be excited to see we have a lot of other cool things to update you on that we'll love to share with you. So again, don't hesitate to post in our Facebook groups. Don't hesitate to email our support team. Don't hesitate to even come to these live streams and post anything you desire. We don't censor the comments or anything. Even if you hate us, hey, it's all cool, but at least it'll help us improve, right? Which is going to be useful for everybody out there. So your feedback, definitely appreciated. Okay. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you on training sessions in the future.
Thank you guys. Take care. See ya.